Hello and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at this week's hottest posts on Spectrum and give our opinions on them. So before we get started, thanks again to everyone who commented, basically, for our competition. That was really cool. And like we said, we'll hopefully be running another one soon. So keep your eyes peeled. And congratulations to Old Propellers. Congratulations, and get in contact with us because we haven't heard from you yet. So drop us an email or join us on Discord. Good stuff. Let's get started. So first up, we've got a post from Angus Thermopiles. It's got warm piles, and it says critical error. Unlimited sizes and types of slots, weapons/parts. This is funny and terrifying at the same time. Basically, the gist of this is there's currently a bug whereby you can fit any size weapon to pretty much any ship, which basically means you can end up with an Aurora with size 5 weapons on, which is just terrifying.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. The fact that a bug like that exists, and I don't know if this is a new bug or if this is something that's been around for a while, but that is worrying. That's a thing. So I don't want to come across an Aurora with some size 5 plasma cannons and stuff. So
yeah, that's a game breaker, that one. Like I say, I don't know if it's been in there for a while and someone's only just found it, or if this is a new thing as of 3.4. But they need to look at fixing that pretty quick. Yeah,
I do wonder if maybe we all just play by the rules, and so no one's actually noticed because we all just go, well, I can't put a size 5 on there, and then just one dude just went, I'm just going to try.
I'm not sure if I've seen a couple of videos of people doing some crazy weapon loadouts. I saw someone with a glaive was running around with a size 9 torpedo launcher on it. I don't even know how you do that, but apparently that is currently a thing in the PU. So watch yourself out there, guys. It's scary.
Oh yeah. If you see an Aurora in the distance and you think, let's have a crack, don't let its looks deceive you. It may have size 5, or it may have a size 9 torpedo coming out his arse. So be wary. I love the idea of that though. Just pulling up to or even one of those, what's that? That really diddy little ship that's just super fast and comes out the back of a bigger ship. What's it called? Yeah. One of those. Little Merlin or something, but it's actually got some fucking great big size 5. Just that would just be
massive size 5 plasma cannon coming out the front of it.
It's just as big as the ship. You're it's fine. It fits.
I did see a picture of someone who got the Ursa rover and had fitted, I think it was size 5 laser cannons on the roof of it. There's a big tank.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, actually, they should keep that. I think that they should allow the ground vehicles to just go ridiculous, and that would be so much fun. So. Okay, so next up we've got a post from Shadowwalker79 who says, we need tier 0 component and weapon insurance in the PU prioritised. Basically, the gist of this is currently there is no insurance on weapon parts and modifications, so you can grind for weeks to kit your ship out with all the coolest weaponry, but if some douchebag crashes into you and blows you up, you've lost them. Very frustrating and does kind of defeat the purpose of kind of the hours and hours you grind for. What do you think?
It's quite an important thing to add into the game now if they want us to actually test gameplay loops and upgrading components and whatnot. Then losing them to a crashed desktop is gonna really put a downer on the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is quite an urgent thing, I would say, personally. I know a lot of people don't really care for this too much right now, but I think it would be a beneficial thing to get in the game sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you'll read, and I don't recommend you read the comments on this one, and we'll get to that in a minute. But as you'll, if you do read them, you will see that a lot of people are kind of doing the usual. Well, they know what they're doing, and they're the developers. Well, yeah, they are the developers, but we're the ones paying money for this game. We know what we're buying. We know that it's alpha, and we know that this is something whereby they have a roadmap. They know what they're doing, but there's always going to be these things that crop up which they may not have foreseen, which we as players have figured out through playing the game. Because these guys develop it, fair enough. They're not testing it. They have other people who test it, and then they roll it down to us, and they roll it down to someone else, and so on and so forth. And, somewhere along the line, we've realised that this is not viable for our time, basically,
Yeah.
And if they don't want us to test it, then fair enough. But, it's always been made clear that they want the universe as a whole to test and to report on everything in this game. And if that is the case, then this is something that is causing a lot of grief to a lot of people, because, a lot of us don't have the kind of time where we can put in weeks to get something just to lose it. It's too frustrating, and people just won't bother.
Yeah, and like the guy, the Shadow Walker that wrote this post, says he starts with an Aurora and starts with 5,000 credits. Like a vast majority of the people that have this game.
Yeah.
So for him to grind that money back up again to buy a gun is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you've got a Starfarer or a Caterpillar, you do 1 or 2 cargo runs and you've got the money back.
Yeah.
No big deal. But for people that don't have those ships, then this is quite an important thing.
Yeah. It's quite elitist to say, oh, it's not a priority, because it may not be a priority to you, because, again, like you said, it's no big deal to them, because they can make it back in an hour, but to some people that's many hours of work. And this is another one of those situations where, read the main post. If you do feel the need to read the comments, then you need a huge heaping bag of salt to take with this, because this is literally the very epitome. I got about 15 or 20 comments in, and I just couldn't read anymore, because it's just the nastiest. They're not vicious, there's no viciousness there. It's just so passively aggressive towards him that it just it made me cringe. It made me uncomfortable to read. And it's super unnecessary. I mean, they keep moaning that, this is your opinion and these are our opinions, but then they fight about whose opinion means more.
That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, SIG ask for feedback. So when someone gives them some feedback, some people get really offended by it. Yeah. Almost. Like, I don't really understand it. But like you say, it does make you cringe at some of the arguments people put up on here. It's really bad. Yeah, it is. And so I recommend, taking what we've said and taking what Shadow Walker was trying to get across, but maybe don't bother reading down, because it'll just ruin your night. Yeah. Cool. So next up, we've got a post from Numinix, and it says, ship display Symbology. Could be better. And there's a cool video. I recommend you check it out. It just kind of shows the evolution of the HUD, since day dot to pretty much now, and shows how kind of the HUD has progressively gotten worse, I think, personally, over time. And it's something that really does need to be kind of reverse engineered back to the good old days when it actually worked. Yeah, it's definitely got worse. Like you can see all the used to get different icons for different targets that were around you. You could, I think there used to be some sort of G-force indicator as well. But now it's all we get is a couple of triangles. Missiles are triangles, contacts are triangles. It's all a bit messy. Yeah. I'd be interested to know why the symbology is kind of I don't know what the word is. Degraded? Devolved? Devolved. Yeah, devolved, I think, is a good one. Yeah. Yeah, it would be good to
it would be really nice to sort of sit one of the developers down and say, right, can you just explain to me what your thinking was here? Because
what happened there?
You basically took a system that worked, albeit it was a little bit clunky, I think, really early on, and then it kind of evolved to the point where even in around the late twos, we'll say, the terrible twos, it still worked quite well in that when you targeted someone, it would target them. Then you could there was a lot more feedback on what was going on in a fight. Whereas, like you say now, you've just got a confusing mess of triangles, and there might be different colours if you're lucky. We seem to just find green people now who don't want to shoot back. But and it's unintuitive. You really have to kind of have some sort of ESP to figure out what's going on in a fight. And if you've got two of the same targets, two of the same vehicles, it's difficult to know whether you're targeting, if you've untargeted them, whether you're targeting them back, and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit messy. So I just don't get why they've gone backwards now and kind of minimalised it. It's weird.
Yeah, the other really bad point was that when you target someone, the kind of follow icon goes right to the edge of your screen, and half the time you can't see where it is.
Yeah.
It's a real pain in the arse.
Yeah, I spend most of my time when we're in a fight spinning around in circles, thinking I'm following what I think is some sort of like an edge marker, on the edge of my screen. And it's not, it'll be like a bit of a planet. And I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, just desperately trying to find a silly little green chevron somewhere. It doesn't work. It works if you're willing to sacrifice time in a fight to find things. But these ships are supposed to have really advanced targeting systems on them. Once you know where your target is, that ship knows where that target is, and it will keep a signature lock on that as long as you need it to. But the fact that it suddenly just vanishes and you have to just spin around in circles till you get a visual cue again is just silly. So, need to sort that out.
The developer, I think his name's Zane, who developed the first system, HUD system. I don't know what the hell he's been doing for the last couple of years, but someone needs to have a look at that.
Definitely.
On a plus note, coming in March, so part of the Squadron 42 roadmap, there is a vehicle HUD improvement with a sort of rough description of what we might get, and hopefully that gets put into the 3.5 update.
Yeah.
Might improve a little bit.
That would be nice. Yeah. I mean, that was kind of one of the good things about these two things running simultaneously, is that if they find something in Squadron 42 that needs a revamp, then it should, in theory, be easily, kind of one and the other should go hand in hand. So, I hope that does happen. Just slide that on into 3.5 and we'll be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so last up we've got a post from Martin Petchkin, and it says, Star Citizen skeptics cannot deny reality any longer. And basically the long and short of this, I recommend having a little read of the article he's linked. The long and short of this is he came across a guy who was a cynic, Star Citizen cynic, who had to admit that he recently had fun playing the game, and has now turned away from the dark side, and is reformed, and it's good to hear. It's nice to see that there are people out there who used to have a hard-on for hating this game, and now they're coming over and they want a hug. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's good to see that. I mean, there's still a lot of cynics out there. I've come across videos daily, trying to slam Star Citizen in some way, but eventually, with hopefully, Star Citizen will get to a point where people will look at it and go, "Yeah, okay, you got me now."
Yeah, now I see what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is that it's almost become cool to poke fun at this game because of how long it's taken in development.
Yeah, it's trendy.
Exactly, that is exactly it. It is trendy to shit on this game, and you even see. Do you know it was even on the BBC News at one point?
Was it?
Yeah, I just remember reading an article. It was about gaming in general, and it was I think it was to do with Steam and all of the pre-release games that they're putting out and alpha and all that stuff. And then they talked about Star Citizen, and this is always the I don't know what the term is for it now. I've completely lost it. But this is always kind of the poster child for really long development alpha games.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot. But the thing is, though, it may have some negative connotations. But I know people who would never have known this game existed if it weren't for the fact that it's had such a treacherous development, you know, such a dangerous road to walk, and they would never have known this game existed if it weren't for that. So it kind of works a bit in their favour, I think.
Well, yeah, they always say no bad. No, what's the term? Bad press is no.
Even bad press is good.
Bad press is good press.
Good bad, good bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you mean. I just can't say it with my mouth.
No.
But yeah, I think everyone kind of knows what we're talking about here. And I think it's true. I think that they've kind of, you know, even the negative press is still useful in that people are talking about the game. So that's, you know, always a bonus.
Yeah, unfortunately, the whole gamer community in general is very prone to grab onto something negative and then run with it.
Yeah.
And it spreads like a cancer.
Yeah. The problem as well that you get is you've got games like the recently released Atlas, which is has now taken alpha games and pushed them back into the Stone Age again, because anyone who thought to themselves, oh no, alpha games can still be fun, then tried that. And that was a mistake. And that's a real shame. You know, coming from a developer who's already done this once, you would have thought they'd learned. But so I think it's nice every now and then to win a person back. And, yay, Star Citizen. Okay, so there you have it. That's our posts for the week. We hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to leave your comments, any impressions that you had on what we discussed, and if you have anything that you want to let us know about these points, then chuck it down there in that comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and we'll be back to normal-ish, I think, from next week, so we'll start to see some more reviews coming out and things like that. And keep your eyes peeled for our 3.4 review, which will be coming out very, very soon. And as always, I've been Deathbringer Cow.
And I've been Cracker.
We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.